What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Doghouse. We did it. We won a football game. I know what you're thinking. It's a preseason game. It doesn't count. It doesn't matter. But let me tell you, if you put Baker Mayfield on the field with a snail and let them have a foot race and Mayfield were to come out victorious, I'd be celebrating, all right? That's a victory to me. A win is a win. Now, I know it doesn't mean anything. We remember last preseason where, the Browns went undefeated, and by game 4, we were going to the Super Bowl, right? I know it doesn't count, but it's okay. It's a win. We can celebrate. Moving on. So it's been a really big week for us Browns fans. We had the beginning of Hard Knocks. Episode 1 aired last Tuesday evening. We had our first preseason game. We've got stuff going on all over the place in the legal system with Browns players. So today we're going to take a look at a little bit of everything, and let's start with Hard Knocks. What did we learn from Hard Knocks? First thing I learned was that everybody in the front office staff, and players alike love Hugh Jackson. There's a lot of Hugh haters out there. They want to see him gone. But it speaks volumes to me that everybody in that office rallied around Hugh the way they did when he got the news of the passing of his mother. Hugh was going through a lot of stuff. Hugh did not miss a day of work through the entire process. High-profile job like head coach of an NFL team, did not miss a day, okay? The man is dedicated. I know we're going to get all the people arguing, saying he knows he's going to lose his job. He didn't have to stay, okay? The man's dedicated. His players love him. The front office loves him. Deal with it. The only way to shut everybody up is to win. He knows it. They know it. I think we're going to see some of that this season. What else did we learn? Jarvis Landry is blessing everyone, and I do mean everyone in the Cleveland Browns secondary every day in practice. He is running them up and down the field and is making an impact immediately. He is an outstanding acquisition, and he is living up to every little bit of the hype that he had coming into Cleveland. We also learned that Carl Nassib has a fallback career, should things ever go wrong with the NFL. He's giving financial advice to the defensive line in the meeting room. He's also a philosopher, teaching everybody that if they spend too much time on social media, it's wasted time that they could be using to better themselves. I found this hysterical, and, go him. He's trying to teach them something. Why not? If you got some free time, give some financial advice if you know about it. Finally, at the very end of the episode, we learned that Coach Williams just needs a lozenge. And don't ask him if he wants one. He will get volatile. Very funny moment in the end of the show. It kind of cracked me up. And I was thinking the first day we went out there, we heard a lot of Williams. And when we went back out on Sunday, I didn't hear him so much anymore. In fact, I kind of thought he was not on the field because I didn't hear him anymore. Now we know why. He needed that lozenge. Okay, so what else we were able to pull away from this week? It was a big week in the wide receiver room. Lots of stuff floating around, lots of stuff happening, some good, some not so good. Let's start off with the good. We've got Jarvis Landry, again, really stepping up, taking the leadership role in the wide receiver room, which is outstanding because it's something we haven't had in a very long time. You saw on Hard Knocks, you saw him calling out the rest of the wide receiver room during their meeting on Hard Knocks and really kind of dug into him, let him have it. And this is something we need. It's no good to have players who aren't motivated on the team, obviously. And Landry is trying to find a way to motivate everyone, and I think he found it because they looked decent in the game on Thursday. And, of course, the second I stopped recording my video last week, the news broke of the Corey Coleman trade. Oh, boy, here we go. Coleman was traded for a 2020 7th-round pick. Basically, he didn't make the cut. Let's face it, no production. Has been plagued by injuries since day one, can't stay healthy, can't stay on the field, can't produce if you're not on the field. The best ability is availability. He didn't have it. If you also saw on Hard Knocks, while Landry was giving his speech, it looked like Coleman was slouched down in his chair. What I can only presume was not paying attention in his team meeting. It didn't seem like he was very interested, seemed disconnected, and if you got a poor work ethic and you're not producing, that's the surefire way to find yourself a new job for sure. So the Coleman trade, not a surprise to me. Yes, everybody's upset. We only got a 7th round pick in exchange for someone who was a 1st round pick. But let's face it, if the market's not there, and they have been shopping him for a while, if the market's not there, you're only going to get what the market gives you. And obviously, that's pretty much all they got was that 7th rounder for 2020. So you take what you can get and you move on. Next up in the wide receiver turmoil category, we have Callaway, Mr. Antonio Callaway. We all heard about it. This is old news. Was pulled over at 2:30 in the morning one evening. Had marijuana in his car. Smelled like marijuana in his car. Gun parts. Not an entire gun. The story's been getting twisted a little bit. They found a back strap to a Glock as well as a handful of bullets in the center console. Not an entire gun. He didn't just go commit murder. Okay, calm down. On top of that, he was also driving with a suspended license. Not good. Not good. If you look back at the draft recap video that I did a while back, I was not real thrilled about the pick of Callaway. I was afraid he was going to get into more trouble. He's going to be Gordon 2.0 as far as being able to stay on the field and stay out of trouble. It's kind of looking that way. Now, mind you, he would have went straight to a testing center and filled up a cup or donated blood or something like that to test for any narcotics. And to this point, we haven't heard anything. So maybe he came back clean. Maybe it's not as bad as we think. The story he gave everyone was, well, I just had my car shipped here. Someone else was driving it. I had no idea any of this stuff was going on. I thought my license was already reinstated. Blah, 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 blah. Maybe he's telling the truth. Maybe he's not. But Hugh did have an interesting way of dealing with the situation. He said that in Thursday night's game, he kept Callaway in the game as long as humanly possible. Callaway was waving to come off to the sideline to get some rest. You left him out there. You don't get breaks unless you play, and you stay out of trouble. So, kind of a punishment to make him play the game. I mean, I guess it's better than letting him ride the pine and getting paid for it, but interesting punishment, and go Hugh. Everybody says he's too soft on the players. Callaway is gassed, needs to come get some air and gets to take a breather. Oh no, son, you're staying out there. I like it. Tough love. As we also saw in Hard Knocks, Josh Gordon, I told you so, is keeping in contact with the front office. Gordon will be back. The team has told him to take his time. The team has said, don't worry about free agency next year. We got your back. You're okay. He's taking time off for himself to better himself. He's not in trouble. The league is going to reinstate him with no problem. Gordon is dodging the Hard Knocks cameras. As soon as they are gone, Gordon will return. Yes, it is a distraction. Yes, you would like your number one receiver to be there for training camp. But it is not like Gordon is a rookie. He knows what's going on. The team has plenty of people in the depth chart behind him to fill in for him in the meantime. Gordon will return to the field by week one. Week one. He will be back, if not sooner. So mark your calendars, folks. He's coming back. And when he comes back, he's going to look like good old Josh Gordon again. The guy's in fantastic shape. He's keeping in shape down in Florida. Everything's okay. Gordon will return. And in the last bit of wide receiver news this week, we had, during the game on NFL Network, the entire talk for the entire preseason show was Dez Bryant won't play for the Cleveland Browns. Oh, Dez Bryant will play for the Cleveland Browns. Oh, snap. Bryant's coming to visit Cleveland next week. Bryant is coming this week, supposedly. He's going to visit with the team and see what happens from there. Now, I don't think Bryant's a number one anymore. He's lost that step. He's not a number one. But imagine Gordon as a number one, Bryant as a number two, Landry as a slot. And yes, the downside with Dez is Dez brings a lot of baggage to the locker room. Not the best thing in the world to have, but the guy can still play. The three of them paired up on the field at the same time, forget about it. You got the passing game of the century. Go for it. Now, if you can keep the baggage to a minimum, I'm all in on Dez. If Dez is going to bring the drama to the locker room, I'm not all in on Dez. It is going to be interesting to see wherever he does end up if some of the baggage maybe was just a Dallas thing. Maybe he'll find happiness with another team and he doesn't need to go on the like little diva outbursts and stuff like that he's notorious for. We'll see how it all pans out, where he ends up, and if he ends up wearing the orange and brown on game day. All right, last but not least on our list of things to cover today is preseason week 1 takeaways. Everything that we saw in the game that we loved, hated, and I don't care. We won. We won. Okay? We won. First up on the list we have here, Denzel Ward is sending a message to the NFL. Oh my God, that hit was beautiful. It was beautiful. Now, again, Browns players always seem to have a downside to their upside. It can never just be an upside. There always has to be down. But take away the taunting penalty, and you've got something. He put it on a blast across the NFL. If you're going to come to my side of the field, you better be ready to get hit. I love it. This is something we've lacked from that spot for ever, really. Because, I mean, Hayden wasn't that aggressive. Never. It's nice to see somebody over there who's not afraid to hit, not afraid to punish somebody if they come to their side of the field. And did you see the way the ball came out of the hands of the receiver? I think it was Sharp or Shepard that he hit. But, oh, it was beautiful. That's the kind of hits we need on this team. We need to be more aggressive, and we need to make people fear the secondary. Denzel, stop taunting. Just let the play die. It was beautiful other than that. Good job. And with that being said, it takes us on to our next observation from last week's game. Too many dang penalties. Penalties kill football teams. I mean, we had, like 3 or 4 within the first 4.5 minutes of the game. They need to curb that, and they need to curb it quick, because that's going to lose us a lot of games. It lost us games last year, along with our interception ratio. But we need to get rid of the penalties. They need to get that stuff cleaned up. And yes, I know it's the first preseason game. There's lots of time for everyone to learn. Learn it. That's going to be a game killer. We need to clean those up like yesterday. Next up on our list is the run game. Pretty much on both sides of the ball was kind of disappointing. The defense looked like the defense we had from a number of years ago, where we just couldn't stop the run and teams were running the ball all over us all season. I know, again, we're going to say it, it's the preseason. They have lots of time to change things, and they have lots of time to learn and grow. Let's just hope that they learn and grow, because they were not stopping the run. Saquon, first time he touches the ball, takes it for 29 yards down the field, straight through our defensive line, and that's very reminiscent of a few years ago. We were so improved the past couple of years. Now we're back to this. Let's hope it doesn't stay that way. Fix it, please. I can't sit through another season of that. They've got to get this, and they've got to get it fast. I know they will. I have confidence. Moving over to the other side of the ball, our second-round draft pick, Nick Chubb, was doing a lot of things, but he wasn't running the ball the right direction down the field. Somebody's got to get this boy a compass. He had a total of 15 carries for a combined 11 yards total, averaging just 0.7 yards per carry. He was running left, he was running right, he was running backwards, not doing a lot of running forward. So, again, could be the offensive line. We know we've got a lot of turmoil on the offensive line right now, and the second-team offensive line was out there for a majority of the time that he was. Let's hope we can get that cleaned up, because he has so much promise. I just want to see him do well, because I know he's a beast. Everybody knows he's a beast. He can do it. Let's just get it done. Preseason, again, plenty of time to fix things. Again, I have confidence. Let's get it done, huh? Next up on our observation list here, we have Joel Bitonio. Actually looked pretty good at left tackle. Again, nobody's going to be a Joe Thomas, but he did look like he was pretty solid at the position, and he's doing a lot of work over there. So, Joe, keep growing, man. Good job. Keep up the good work. I liked what I saw. No real area to complain. Again, he did play the position in college. This is not the first time he stood in the left tackle shoes. I'm sure he's going to do just fine. Keep up the good work. We like you. Next observation on our list here, we have the wide receivers. Drastically improved over last year. I mean, let's face it. Higgins had, 2 touches the entire season? And I think he had 2 touchdowns. I don't remember the exact stat, but he was not very productive. Higgins had more production in this past week's preseason game than he has in his entire career. I'm not saying he's a superstar, but he's improving. He's growing as a player. I'm seeing a lot of growth there. Higgins is really going to, I think, turn the corner this year, and I'm excited to see it happen. Landry, not even going to say anything about Landry. He's as advertised. Outstanding catch, another taunting penalty. Get rid of the taunting penalty. I've got no complaints. Landry's amazing. Callaway was a little bit slow out of the gate to start the game. First half, not so much in the way of production. Second half, finally found his rhythm and decided the best way to get back to the bench and appease the coach is to score touchdowns. Beautiful toe drag on the sideline. We all remember the play. It was contested. The ref said, no, he's out. Hughes said, I don't think so. Throwing that flag. They took another look at it. Boom. He was in. Can't beat that. 50-yard touchdown pass. Beautiful. Now, keep in mind, Callaway hasn't played football in a very long time. There's a lot of people out there already. Oh, Callaway was so slow in the first half. He shouldn't be like that. Blah, 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 blah. Give him a break, man. I mean, this is the first time the kid's touched a football field in a competitive manner in, how long? Year and a half? Give him some time. He's going to have to find his feet again, find his rhythm. He's in the NFL now. It's not even college anymore. It's a totally different experience, different pace, different game. I'm not happy about what happened with the incident off the field. No. But I am optimistic that if everything pans out there, we might have another good receiver, and that's nothing to complain about. Give the kid a chance. Let him go to court. Let him get it all figured out. If he ends up guilty, I hate him. And I'm going to say, hey, Cleveland, front office, I told you after you drafted the kid, this was a bad idea, and I didn't like it. You didn't listen to me? This is what you get. If the kid pans out, we're all going to love him. So just give him a chance to prove himself and figure everything out. Let the court system deal with what the court system needs to deal with. Let the NFL testing committee for drug policy and procedures do their thing and get that part figured out. Let the kid play football in the meantime. Hughes got it handled. We're all good. Sit back, relax, and enjoy this week's game without complaining about positive things that are happening on the field, huh? Right? That's what I thought. Finally, our last observation from Thursday's game was the quarterback play. Both quarterbacks look good. Tyrod, even though he had limited time on the field because of being a starter. I'm not a Baker hater. I'm really not. I just like Tyrod too. Is that so bad? This is the first time in a long time that Cleveland's had two good quarterbacks, both potential starters. It's nothing to complain about. Give Mayfield time. There's no rush. Tyrod's a starter. Let him do his thing. Tyrod looked outstanding on Thursday. Baker looked outstanding on Thursday. Before you go say anything, remember, Baker was playing against 2s and 3s. Tyrod was playing against 1s. Not taking anything away from Baker. This is a big vicious circle. You see where we're getting here? I don't hate Baker. Baker's a good player. I can't wait to see Baker grow and develop in the future, but right now, he needs to sit. Yes, he looked good, but he was playing against subpar competition. It's basically college level stuff all over again. Let's see what happens when he gets put in there with the 1s at some point and see how he performs then. Until then, Tyrod's the guy. We like Tyrod. Tyrod is successful. Took the Bills to the playoffs. How long's it been since the Bills went to the playoffs? Nobody even knows. So just relax. Let Tyrod handle things. Let him teach the kid. And next year, he could take the wheel. Love it. We're actually in the position to let our rookie quarterback sit and learn until something either really bad happens or he's ready. This is a position we've never been in before. Chill out. Let him learn. That all being said, that is it for this week's episode of The Doghouse. Thank you again for tuning in. Always happy to have everybody come in. All right, leave me some hate comments down on the bottom. Anything. Nobody ever comments on a video. I want some hate. Give me some love. I don't care what it is. Put it down in the comments below. Talk about it. We'll yell at each other over YouTube like weirdos. It'll be fun. But until next week, don't forget, bless them. And we'll see you next week in the Doghouse.